Jake here for American Muscle, and today I'm taking a look at this C&L throttle controller for 2011 and newer Mustangs. If you're tired of that annoying delay in your Mustang between when you push the accelerator pedal and when the engine starts to respond, then you need to get yourself a throttle controller. This throttle controller from C&L offers a discreet, easy installation, as well as multiple different modes and adjustments, all for one of the lowest prices in its category. It's an easy plug-and-play modification that will make a noticeable improvement in the way your Mustang drives and responds. Now let's get something straight right out of the gate though. This is not a tuning module, so it's not going to increase the power output of your engine. Rather, it only controls the responsiveness of the accelerator pedal. So this is perfect if you want to change up the driving experience of your Mustang without going all the way to a tune. So the goal here is to either decrease or increase the amount of lag you feel when you press the accelerator pedal. Now, like anything with an electronic throttle, which is pretty much every vehicle these days, out of the gate there isn't quite an immediate response when you put your foot down. But the benefit to having that electronic throttle is that you can tweak them to make them more or less responsive depending on the conditions under which you're driving. Now this one from C&L comes with 8 different presets that you can cycle through using these buttons right here. H1 is comfort mode, and that's going to give you a nice balance to improve responsiveness slightly while keeping the pedal easy to modulate, so it's not going to ruin your fuel economy because you're not going full throttle all the time. Now H2 is sport, which is going to improve that response time, making this a great setting for your daily commute or for a nice trip down your favorite back road. H3 is race mode, which eliminates any delay in the pedal completely for the shortest response time and the most aggressive throttle response. EC on the display indicates economy mode, which is going to decrease the sensitivity of the pedal to give you a lot of additional control over where that pedal is so you can hypermile with ease. So if you're going for maximum fuel economy, you got a setting for that too. NOR on the display will stand predictably for normal, and that's going to be your totally stock factory setting. If you have SNO up here, that is anti-skid or snow mode for adverse weather conditions. So that's going to delay the response of the throttle even more drastically to help decrease tire spin, be able to get you out of any kind of sticky situation. And if you see 3 zeros up here, that is intelligent mode, which is going to match the setting automatically to your learned driving habits. So you can leave this plugged in and just drive it like you normally would while the unit learns and adapts to your usual driving style, so then it can adjust accordingly on the fly. And last, we have what might be the coolest mode here, which is LOC or anti-theft. So that's going to lock out the pedal completely. So even if a thief manages to get into your car and then manages to get it running, the pedal in that mode is going to be completely non-functional, so they're not going to be able to drive away with your car. Just another added layer of protection while you're out cruising about. Now, as far as construction goes, I think this thing is pretty neat. It feels pretty good in your hand. It's also small and unobtrusive, so you can easily mount this out of the way, like on one of the center console pillars. And having those buttons on here with a very simple screen makes it super easy to navigate through the different modes. You also don't have a ton of different modes, so it's pretty easy to learn and just intuitive to click right through on the fly. Now, when it comes to price, you're looking at right around $175, which is about the least expensive option out there for a throttle controller like this. You don't get the infinite adjustability or some of the other higher end features, but for the numerous different modes you do get that anti-theft feature, the intelligent mode, and the overall difference this can make to the drivability of your Mustang, I think this is more than worth the price. Now, install-wise, this really couldn't be much easier. A 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter is where it falls, and should take you less than 20 minutes to get it in and working. All you have to do is plug the little display unit in right here, mount this wherever you want it. It's got double-sided tape already on the back, and then plug these in down by your accelerator pedal. Really couldn't be much easier. And to show you just how to get that all done, let's head to the install bay right now.
Hi everyone, today we're installing a throttle controller in our Mustang, so let's get started. All right, to install our throttle controller, it's a really simple process. It's all plug and play. On the controller itself, we've got 2 connectors here, and what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the throttle controller on the throttle pedal. We're going to plug this into the throttle pedal, this end into the wire harness, and then we're going to run our wire to our actual control panel up underneath the dash by the steering wheel. It's a little difficult to get our camera in there, that's why we're explaining this now, but we'll get you taken care of so you can see exactly what we're talking about. So the first thing we need to do is disconnect our connector at the top of the throttle pedal here by lifting up on the red locking tab, pushing in on the release lever, and then just pulling up on the harness. Once you've got that done, we can go ahead and connect our throttle controller harness. And to do that, we're going to connect the piece with the red locking tab to the top of the throttle pedal. Push down on the red locking tab, and then we'll connect the other end of the harness to the factory harness. And again, you'll see that there's a red tab from the factory harness, and that's going to lock into our throttle controller. Press down on our red locking tab. And the kit does come with some zip ties. So you'll want to tape this up to some factory harness that's at the top, and you can zip tie that up there. Now we can go ahead and run the cable to the actual control module on the actual dash. Now at this point, we're going to go ahead and run our cord to our control panel, and we're going to run it up underneath the dash here at the bottom alongside the steering wheel, and we're going to mount our control panel right here underneath the headlight switch. Now you want to make sure when you run this, of course, that all the wire underneath is not interfering with the steering column or your brake pedal. Make sure that that's all zip tied up out of the way so that we don't have any problems down the road. So we're just going to go ahead and feed this in under the dash, pull it through, then we can go ahead and connect it to our controller. And once we've got that done, like I said, we're going to mount ours underneath the headlight switch here. It's always a good idea to use an alcohol pad to clean the area, make sure that there's no contaminants on the dash itself so that the panel will stick like it's supposed to. So to do that, we're just going to remove the red backing off the control module. And put it into place. Just make sure that you press it on nice and tight and it'll stay. And then go ahead and pull the excess wire back down through the dash. And like I said, this kit does come with some zip ties, so you can zip tie that up and make it stay out of the way for you. All right, now that we've got everything hooked up, we'll go ahead and show you how everything works. Once you've got your ignition turned on, you'll see that there are 8 different modes, 9 different levels for most of the modes. First mode, H1, is going to be your comfort mode. You're still going to have a much sharper throttle response, but it'll be also smoother than, say, the sport mode or the race mode. By pressing the adjust button on most of the modes, you'll increase from 1 to 9. The higher the number, the quicker the response. Once you go to H2, then you have your sport mode. Again, a much sharper response, a quicker response, and you have the 9 different levels for that mode as well. Then you can go to H3, which is race mode, and it has 9 different levels as well. Now, once you get to race mode, that's going to be your quickest response time. Then you can go to economy mode. It'll delay your throttle response a little bit, help get you better gas mileage if that's what you're looking for. Then there's normal mode. Normal mode, basically, it acts as if the throttle controller is not even installed. It's just like the factory throttle response. Snow mode or anti-slip mode, there's only one setting on that. You cannot adjust the modes on it or the levels. It is what it is. And then you have intelligent mode. Based upon your driving habits, the controller will determine how to respond with the throttle response as well. Then you have lock mode, or your anti-theft mode, which basically disables your throttle. With that turned on, if the car is turned off and somehow they manage to get it started, it's not going to go anywhere. And that wraps up our review and install of the C&L throttle controller for the 11 to 23 Mustangs. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.